So welcome to Small Business to Grow, smallbusinesstogrow.com. Today we have an awesome guest. We have Royan Nadia, who is the CEO and founder of Legacy VAs. Royan is actually over in the Philippines. He owns and operates one of the largest VA organizations, which is virtual assistants in the Philippines for LinkedIn. If you're not using LinkedIn and you sell business to business, and even if you sell business to consumer, you definitely should be using LinkedIn. And Royan's going to talk a little bit about that. His company today serves over 100 companies from 10 countries around the world. So this is definitely a global business that's leveraging technology and showing people how to put tools like LinkedIn to work for them to grow their organization. So Royan, welcome to Small Business to Grow. Thanks for joining us. What's your background?
Coach Ray, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me. I was so happy to be here. Couldn't be more grateful enough. So really glad to be part of Small Business to Grow and with you. So yeah, everyone, welcome. And I would like to introduce myself. My name is Royan Nadia. And let me tell you a little bit about myself, but I don't want to bore you, too much about myself. But let me give you some background. I've been in sales for over 10 years now, like Coach Ray, everyone. And this is also probably how I also discovered LinkedIn. Not probably, but actually, as a salesperson, one of the number one thing that you have to do is to generate your own leads, right? And I used to be part of an accelerator program where my main responsibility was to help the business coaches that was part of that company market and sell their mentorship. And this is how I actually discovered LinkedIn. We discovered that this is, of course, a perfect place for us to find business owners, founders, coaches, consultants, and that is how I started using LinkedIn.
Awesome. In LinkedIn I think it's an under-recognized tool. Like we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, Royan. If we look at LinkedIn, how many people, and I know you know some of the numbers, how many people approximately are currently on LinkedIn, meaning they have an account?
Well, that's an amazing question. Right now, we are currently at 700 million members on LinkedIn, and it's definitely counting. It's growing even faster. And this is probably one of the reasons why I, took the risk and make a big decision, not less than 365 days ago, to start my own company, which is a LinkedIn marketing company, and then turn it into as well a LinkedIn virtual assistant company so that we can help businesses, get more clients, generate leads on LinkedIn without them doing any of the work.
And if we look at that, if we looked at it's 700 million and growing, that's significant. But when we look at the percent, what percent of people are doing what you do? And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, but what percent of the people that have a LinkedIn account are actually using it?
We could say, like, what I know for sure is that only 1% of LinkedIn users are creating content. Okay.
So when we look at that 1%, that really,
yes,
for those businesses that are embracing LinkedIn, that are using LinkedIn, you're really at this point in time, you're an early adopter. It is probably reasonable to say that.
Definitely. We can say that LinkedIn right now is Facebook 2012, right? It is fast growing. The people are starting to love it. There's a lot of transition in terms of content creation since Microsoft acquired LinkedIn. And this, so if you're someone who's just like looking to build your personal brand, you are in the professional space, in the business space, like this is the perfect time to just, jump on board and ride this ship. It's going to be amazing.
So in what I hear in that is how many people, regardless of what they do, industry wise or business wise, how many people would like to be able to go back to 2012 Facebook? I mean, that's significant. And here we are looking at the numbers, just that 1% of 700 million. There's no question it's early in the LinkedIn environment, which creates a significant opportunity. And when we look at those opportunities, like, okay, somebody has a LinkedIn account, so they have a LinkedIn profile. What do they do? Like, what does your organization, like, what should they be doing? What do you provide? Because what you provide is kind of the blueprint for what people should be doing on LinkedIn. So walk us through a little bit about that. Like, say I sign up with you. What's the first thing you're going to do on my profile?
No, well, that's a fascinating question, but probably I mean, I would like to answer this question by actually providing you the steps in order for you to start getting something out of LinkedIn, right? It's either,
Even better.
even better, right? Like, even like, it doesn't matter if you're building a personal brand, if this is, for lead generation, whatever. Like, if you want to be able to leverage LinkedIn for your business, here's a few steps that you have to do, right? The very first step is to turn your profile into a sales page. Okay, so what do I mean by that one? A lot of people out there have LinkedIn as some sort of like a resume, a CV. Like that is long gone. Even if you are actually looking for a job, you need to turn your profile into a sales page. So what more if you are in business, right? So the very first thing is to optimize your profile, turn your profile into a sales page. And just like any other sales page out there, your profile needs to be able to do two things. It needs to be able to impress your customer, and this is where your visual comes in. You don't want to just have a random picture there. Like, invest in yourself, get some professional photos and put it there, right? That's number one. Like the visuals, right? Like we are that is a good way for us to impress people that we want to connect with. That's number one. Number two, make your message very clear. Just be able, please make your profile answer two simple things: who you are helping and what are you going to help them with. Okay, so that's the first step. Step two, use the tools that is already available on LinkedIn, whether this is free or you have, like, upgraded version, Sales Navigator, to find your target customers, right? You don't want to just have a number of follower or connections. You want your connections to be relevant. You want to connect with people that is actually going to be relevant for your business. It's the same thing, right? Like when you are reaching out to people randomly, you're not going to get pretty much any result. It's kind of like, if you try to serve everyone, you're going to end up serving no one, right? So that's number two. And number three, you do it at scale. All right, what do I mean by that? You just utilize whatever limit there is. You can connect with 100 people per week on LinkedIn nowadays. Like before, you can do this 100 a day, but nowadays only 100 a week. That's totally fine. If you are reaching out to the right people, right, you're going to get something out of it. Aside from that, you can join groups. You can join events and message 100 people a day, right? So that's a good way to start reaching out to people, right? And now you are reaching out to people, right, via Sales Navigator, via with an amazing optimate profile. What's the next thing that you have to do? Put out contents, right? If you're going to just grow your connections, you're not gonna put out contents. You're not gonna, like, start giving them value. Then of course it's going to take longer for you to monetize or turn it into opportunities. So those are the 4 steps that I would definitely always share with everyone who, like, reach out to me for help. And I always tell this to my clients: if you reach out to the right people with the right message at the right time, you're going to get a lot of business on LinkedIn. Okay. And earlier, Coach Ray, you asked me what we do for our clients. Those exact 4 steps, if you do not want to do it yourself, you don't want to, like, you just want to skip the part of figure thing out, you don't have the time, you have more important things to do, then that is where we help our clients. If you don't want to do it, then we'll do it all for you.
Well, and
Simple
I
as that.
think with that, so a VA, to reiterate, is virtual assistant. So one
Yes.
of the things that those watching this video or listening via podcast that Royan can provide through his legacy VA organization is a virtual assistant. And that allows you to kind of offset or offload, or you can delegate to a staff or an individual or a team so that they can do the work and then you don't have to. And in some cases, it allows you to do the things that only you can do. But
Exactly. Yeah.
the other thing is it allows you to scale. It allows you to do things a lot faster than you'd be able to otherwise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about that, right? Like a lot of businesses out there do not invest for help, but that is exactly what they are holding them back from scaling, right? If you can delegate some things, eliminate some things that you don't need to, then you can definitely,
We
just grow even more.
and we see that with small business to grow and some of our clients. If you're the business owner, or even if you work in an organization and you're an executive, you're in a leadership position, you need to step back and work on the business. And what you don't want to do is create a business model that can only generate more sales. It can only scale and it can only grow if you're working directly in the business. We always say it's like owning a job then. If you start to delegate, and this is true even in it's hard. Anybody that's hired employees, you're looking at, well, I'm going to raise my cost. Well, it's an investment because you're going to raise your cost here. It's going to free your time up to do these things over here. And if you're really good at what you do, you're one of the best in your industry, you should be doing those things, not doing what, in this case, a legacy VA can be helping you with at scale, but also it's going to allow you to focus on really the high revenue, the high income, the high sales or high value added stuff that really you can't outsource.
Absolutely. And this is also something that I always say to my clients, right? Like marketing is only expensive if you don't get any returns out of it, right? So it's just like the cost benefit. Like, would you rather choose like figure a thing out, wasting your time doing it on your own, or just, delegate the whole task, or have someone to, to talk to that can teach you exactly what are the steps, because that's okay too, right? I do have clients who would prefer they do it on their own, but they seek for help, like they seek for consulting and coaching, and that's totally fine too. But doing things, in this goes for any social media platform, but doing it on your own without like a framework, it's not worth your time. It's going to cost you even more long term, that's for sure.
And I think that it gives you an opportunity to, like we always say with our small business to grow webcasts and podcasts, we're bringing people like you on, successful business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, and we're sharing best practices. And the goal and the idea is take Royan's wheel and get rolling. You don't have to make the mistakes figuring out how to build the perfect LinkedIn wheel. Royan has it, and he has the VAs that will plug it right into your business and get rolling. And that means you're going today, not
Indeed.
9 weeks from now after you've made a ton of mistakes and then along with it missed a bunch of sales.
Absolutely. And it's a good thing. It's fascinating. You said, Coach Ray, wheel, right? There's already a proven wheel. And I'm going to say this not to impress you, but just to impress upon you the fact that if you have a proven, tested framework, it's going to work. When I started this company, I only made $200 in my first month. But after 6 months, I'm already making $20,000 per month.
And
that also goes for a lot of my clients. They start with just zero, and then they get like, $3,000, $6,000 in their first month, and then they start getting to $10,000, $20,000 per month.
And it's a matter of, and that's really, that's why we started doing these webcasts and podcasts. Is through my career, I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of people in different industries, and I've looked at some of them and I'm like, boy, like I'll go to lunch and I'll ask questions and I'll go back and take what I learned at lunch and plug into my business. And sometimes it goes the other way. Sometimes I'm teaching some of my friends that own businesses stuff. And it was like, how can we share this? And it's, how can we say, here, just go do this? Because it saves a lot of time and it saves a lot of money. And, the proof is in the proverbial pudding. If you started out at $200 in revenue and now you're having $20,000 months, there clearly what you're doing in that framework is working. And you not only know what the framework is, but you have the VAs that are available so that people from the other side of the globe, because again, I'm in the Midwest in North America, and Royan is in the Philippines right now.
Yeah.
So you're able to provide the framework, and then the staff you can delegate to, so somebody can go and have it plugged right into their business.
That's true. That's true. And I'll be honest with you, Coach Ray. We started this company as a more of like a consulting and coaching business, right? Growing a day of marketing. And we've had a lot of businesses do that. And then we noticed that some of them are unable to do it, not because of the framework, but because they aren't just able to do it. And that is how actually Legacy VAs was born. We just told them, man, let's stop teaching people how to do it. Let's teach them, and then at the same time implement it for them, and just take care of all of this stuff for them, so that we can make sure that we get the results.
And
And it started happening. Yeah.
and
No,
as people get busier,
yes.
I'm realizing this now. Like I try and generate content daily, and then that
Yeah.
content is going to go to various social media platforms. It's going to go to YouTube. Some consider that social media, some don't. It's going to go to our website. It's going to get converted to a audio only podcast, the video. So all of these pieces, once you get up and going, you're going to realize that you don't have time to do everything. Yet
Exactly.
everything really needs to get done. I was working on some content earlier today, and just the art and the image, there needs to be an image for Instagram story, YouTube, a podcast cover image and thumbnail, all of these things, plus for our own website. And at some point, there's just not enough hours in the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's really what's happening, or what happened, Coach Ray. Like, we would help someone and give them the framework, and they would do good. They'd be successful. But then once they getting clients, and more clients to work on, they would then don't have the time to do the lead generation and marketing on LinkedIn. And that is just when we started offering the virtual assistant services, which
It
is because you're right. You're right. You know what I mean? Like, there's just like business is not like a one man show. Is like, it's building a team, to be honest. You're like, just
and that's that building a team is where we start to actually, if you're a business owner, and again, if you're an executive running someone else's organization, it still applies. But that
absolutely.
ability to build a team is business. If you can't build the team, you're building a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. But if you're really going to be a business owner or an executive running someone else's organization, your output, your revenue, your total sales, which is really the scorecard, and your ability to grow that is going to depend on your ability to build a team. And you're going to have to delegate. You're going to have to spend some money. And that, like, we have a client right now, an organization. They're a professional, and they provide in-person training and coaching.
Mhm.
So they have to be in person providing that because of the service they do, and they're busy. We've helped them, and they sell out. Their events sell out. But one of the things that we've been working on now is, even though you're selling out, we need to be planning and working on the business so it keeps
Yeah.
growing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there will be no growth. Like, you'll be limited to what you're currently doing. And even worse, every industry, every business has cycles. And if there's a downturn and we're not planning now, we're going to go from having all of this opportunity, all of these people we're serving and helping, to suddenly there's nothing. And then you're going to be
Yes.
scrambling to come up with new business.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right. And because you said earlier, right? Like, how does this apply for executives? It's the same thing. Like, as a CEO, like, you don't want to spend your time doing things on social media, but it's something that you have to do, because your personal brand is such an important piece of the puzzle, right? So it's either you do it or you ask someone else to do it. to do it for you that already knows how they're doing it. So yeah.
And in a take home point, and everybody would agree with this today, it's 2021. It's
Yeah.
not 2011 or 2012. Going back to that Facebook, going back to 2012, it's not then. It's today. It's readily accepted that everybody needs to have some type of footprint and presence on social media.
Yes. Yes.
And for the business to business crowd, that social media is probably LinkedIn. For business to consumer, depending on the demographic, the age, it's probably going to be Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok.
Yes.
But you need to be on social media.
Indeed. Indeed. It's just, it's just time. Like people nowadays, they don't buy into the product anymore. They just buy into the person. That's how noisy the marketplace is. So like sometimes even if you have the best features and products, if the people don't like you, it's gonna be a problem. You know what I mean? So you have to build your personal brand, because you're always going to attract the people that is going to love you anyway. Everyone have their own audience.
In that, like, it's for those that have not tuned into any of our content before. I've had a number of other business owners and executives say the same thing about the relationship and not just the product. Like the customers come in for that relationship first.
Yeah.
And probably the product or service, depending on what your business does, second. So it's important.
That's true. That's true.
And you're not going to have time to do everything. Like you'll need to be able to delegate at some level, or you won't grow, or even worse, you won't even get off the ground because you're going to miss opportunities.
That's right. That's right. So in that context, like because it doesn't matter, right? Like if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, just start, with those 4-step: optimize your profile, use Sales Navigator to target and find the customers or the people you want to connect with, and then do it at scale. And then work on a little bit of your content. You can post like, once a week. It's fine, as long as it's quality, as long as you can introduce yourself and communicate to the people who you are, your message, because it's all about the legacy, right? That we're trying to leave.
But with that, so I'll get a lot of customers. They're reluctant, especially some of the older people. They're reluctant to spend money on some of the computer stuff, as they call it. And everything you said, like, and I've gone through and done this, like your 4 steps, like you can do it for free. Like you don't have to get Sales Navigator right away, even though LinkedIn will give it to you free for a month.
Absolutely.
But you can start out and you can apply what Royan just said, the 4 steps, and you can optimize your profile. You can do these things and you don't have to spend any money if you don't want to, like, but you should do it. I've got friends in the consulting space on LinkedIn, and their profile it's wrong. I'm not even going to say that, well, they can make it better. Like it's outright wrong. Like they have just an image for their profile photo. And it's like that you're selling a service. And when I pull up your profile, I should immediately know what you do.
You got that right. You got
and
that
there's
right.
just a picture. Like
just a picture. Exactly. And that's a really good point, Coach Trey, right? Like forget about the other steps. Just start with your with profile optimization. Just get your profile right, because once you start doing that, you're going to start, doing more. You're going to kind of like, love it. Actually, you're going to love it. So it's like just a first step, right?
And that's a barrier that in many instances, there is a initial investment. There's a financial barrier, and there is a cost of real money to get started. But everything Royan just said, you really can do on your own and get started. And once you do that and you start moving, hopefully you get some new business, some revenue, then you can look at scaling. But there's a lot of stuff. Like we did this last year with a specialty grocery store. We used Facebook and Instagram to grow annual sales 139%. And they had zero, outside of me helping, So there's that piece, but there was no ad buy. They didn't have to buy any automation software. They didn't have to pay for anything. We used all of the tools that are available for free, and we maximize the organic growth. And organic means you didn't spend the money to grow, but now they're at a point where to go beyond that, it's time to start looking at some automation and making some investments. But a lot of folks, I mean, shoot, how many people would be happy to grow 20% by just optimizing their profile and doing it for
Absolutely.
free?
Yes, yes, exactly. When I started my own company, I didn't spend any on anything. I probably spent on Sales Navigator back then because I already know that it's gonna work anyway. I already have the framework. But that's super right, coach. And this is where, like just execution comes in, right? Like, just doing things right. And if there's a framework out there, then you follow that framework. If you don't want to do these things anymore because you have, much more important things that you have to do for the business, then you delegate it. But overall, for everyone, if you're just starting out, just make it happen, guys. Just execution. Don't think about, because anyway, it's you just have to invest in yourself. It's part of it. Like that's the most beautiful thing about a LinkedIn, right? When you start working on LinkedIn, you are investing in your own personal brand. That's it. You're not even promoting your product. You are promoting yourself. You are establishing, relationships with people. You could get partners. You could get, referrals, like collaborations, clients, everything. It's sky's the limit. It's up to you. Like it's just for you. You just have to grab it.
There's so much to be said in the execution piece. And that's where, from a coaching standpoint, a consulting standpoint, if somebody were to hire you, that really what you're buying is the accountability so you execute.
Yeah.
And it's the age old saying of, or the way I look at it is, knowledge isn't power. The
Yes.
application of knowledge consistently is the power. And
Definitely.
that's the execution. Like if you know these things, if you're tuned in and you're watching this and you're like, yeah, I know I'm that guy that Ray mentioned. I just have a picture on my LinkedIn. I need to do this. Well, if you don't execute and get it done, nothing's going to change.
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about execution. So, I mean, like for all the viewers, right? If you are all and listeners, if you're watching this already and listening, you are already doing it. You're already investing in yourself. So just don't turn it into a waste that you've actually invested in yourself to watch and listen to this video, and just get it done. Let's just start optimizing your profile, and you're going to see it's going to make a lot of difference.
And you'll start to notice when you go and look at your profile and you ask yourself, if you're in business, and again, this is going to apply even if you work for a company, so you're not the owner, it's going to apply because it's going to let other people in the industry know about you.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a collaboration, maybe there's a sales opportunity, maybe there's a project, maybe there's a future job. But as you go through and you start doing this, you're going to see other profiles and you're going to be like, man, like they're good at what they do, but nobody has any idea. Like if you look at that, and
Exactly.
in
And
it's free. You
it's
you can
free.
your profile is free. LinkedIn gives it
Yes.
to you.
You could go to Canva and get your banner done, like for free. Like, what you're going to say, it's something that you can already look at some people that are already doing great on LinkedIn and just copy it. Just imagine this. Just picture this out. If, let's say, for example, you see someone that is highly relevant for your business, you want to connect with this person. It's either, for collaboration, partnership, or to turn them to a customer. If you look at their profile, they're going to get a notification that you looked at their profile. And most probably that person, right? And you know this for yourself. If you receive a notification, someone viewed your profile, you check them out too, right? So it's going to be this, it's going to happen the same thing for them. If you looked at their profile, and they're going to get a notification that you viewed their profile, they're going to also look at your profile. So just imagine if your profile doesn't look okay, right? You already lost the opportunity. But if they saw that your profile is pretty good, right? Then that already makes an impression. Because most probably your profile is better than what he have, right? He's gonna think, oh man, this guy's legit, right? He got his profile done, right? Now think about it for a moment. If you start putting in the second step, which is sales navigator, and doing it at scale, like reaching out to thousands of people, looking at profiles of thousands of people, that is where the money comes in. That is where the opportunities comes in, because you are doing it at scale, which is
And
amazing.
and so it like, and let's walk through, because you mentioned Canva, and we use Canva. Anybody that sees, I mean, the background imaging you're looking at on my screen, that small business to grow, all that was created in Canva. You know, we took and put our logo on a TV on the wall and what have you. So if we look at the free tools, what are the free tools that are out there?
Well,
And
for the banner itself, it's just you could go to Canva, right? You can use the free version, the free paid version. The free version is already enough. If you do not want to do it yourself, right? Go to Fiverr, pay someone to do it for you, $5, $10, $20. After 2 days, it's done, right? Those are the few things. Another free software, Sales Navigator, is free. Like the premium tools in on LinkedIn is free for 30 days. So just imagine what you can do for 30 days if you do things right. Awesome. There are tools. I mean, like if you're going to do it yourself, then manually just visit profile or message someone on a consistently basis. If you want to take advantage of tools that are actually also there to automate this process, you can get it for free as well. 7 days free trial, right? There are tools out there you can use, for free, so that you are able to use the basic
and
features of it.
so,
So
and
a lot of tools.
some of those tools would be like Duck Soup, and that's DUX Soup, and that's a Google Chrome extension. Or
Yes, yes, yes.
Expandy.io gives you the 7-day trial. Is that right?
Absolutely.
There's 7 days.
You're
So
right. You're right.
there's some stuff out there, but again, none of this stuff matters if you don't execute. And that's where, if you're not going to do it yourself, that's where something like a legacy VAs comes in,
Hmm.
because not only do they have the framework and they know how to do it, but they're going to make sure that it happens. And I can't stress that enough. It's one thing to have the tools, but you have to use them, whether they're the free ones or the premium paid for. And that's really where, Royan really is filling a niche with legacy VAs and in providing that service for people on LinkedIn. So if you go out
Exactly.
there and you look at this stuff and you go get them, and it's been a week and you haven't used anything, you should probably give some serious consideration to taking a look at how somebody like legacy VAs can help you out and take care of the execution.
Absolutely. And if any one of you would like to learn more on how to do things, how LinkedIn work, simply visit my profile, Roy Nidea, on LinkedIn. And in my about summary, I have a link that goes to a video training, where I share with you, the step-by-step process and how you can actually get more clients on LinkedIn in just less than 30 days.
And that
It's
gives
it's
you,
it's
again,
possible.
you can go in there. That's free. So what
Yes,
Royan
another
just
that's
said,
another
that's free.
yes.
You can
That's
go and you can go to his profile. And when I share the video where I'm able to share a link, I'll put a link in the description or in the comments. You can go there, you can watch the video training and just do what he said, and you can do it for free. So
it's
that's,
free.
it takes away that barrier of, I don't want to spend the money on a maybe. If you're that person, then go ahead and start with the free stuff. And if you find you're not executing and you want to use these tools, then you need to consider the legacy VAs and taking that step. Now, one of the things we didn't talk about, and this came up, like I did a webcast yesterday with a gentleman that's got about 4 decades of professional sales experience.
Wow. Yes.
And he had said he's never cold called. Going back to the 1980s, he wouldn't cold call, and he sold in the telecom industry back then in New York City in the United States. So it was a large market, challenging market, whatever. And he said, you got to build the relationships. When we look at LinkedIn, regardless of how you do it, like, what's the right way to message somebody so that you're not just spamming them and you're not just ice cold?
That's an amazing question, Coach Ray. So what I would always recommend, or what I usually recommend to my clients, is connect with them softly. But if you want to make it more strategic, you can ask them a question in the comment, in the connect message right off the bat. Okay. So you can simply ask a simple question where you say, how long have you been in this industry? Or, can you tell me more about your business? Or like, do you have a coaching business? You know what I mean? Or do you have an agency? Just make them say something, right? Just open up conversation. So that's a good way for you to connect with people. And like people loves to talk about themselves anyway. And it's a good way. It's a good way to, it's just like, just imagine that you are in a networking event, like live, and you go to someone, right? It's you shake their hands and you introduce yourself, or you say something about themselves, or you say, hi, I heard that you are in this industry, and you just ask them about that. Then boom, it's a great way to start a conversation. So that's number one, right? Number two, you can offer them something of value, right? Especially if I mean, it doesn't matter, right? If you're in a professional space, consulting, coaching, you're an entrepreneur, you have a company, offer them something of value, right? You already know what your customers would appreciate. You just give them something of value, right? If you don't know anything you can offer, maybe you can organize a networking event, right? Organize a virtual networking event, invite the target customers that you have in that networking event. You gather all of these people in one place, and boom, all of these people that have attended that networking event is going to see you as someone who's the amazing person who organized this event just to help each and everyone connect, right? And that is also already a door for you to start having a conversation with them on the phone, so that you can introduce yourself. So the biggest takeaway, or what I'd like to communicate, is that you offer something of value, right? So what I am trying not what I'm trying to say, and not you to do, not for you to do, is selling right off the bat in the first message. Just right off the bat, introducing yourself and offering your service, unless you have something so amazing to offer, right? I'll give you an example. If you reach out to someone and you say, hi, my name is Ray, and I help businesses go from 6 figures to 7 figures. I just wanted to reach out to you because I have this training that I would like to share with you. Would you love it? That is totally different by saying that, hey, my name is Ray, and I help businesses go from 6 to 7 figures, and this is what we do. And you is this something that you need right now? Like, it's something that could work. Like, I just want to let you know that if you do this at scale, because there are ways for you to be able to send 4,000 connection requests per month. And if you send a pitch to 4,000 people per month, you're going to get something out of it. But if you offer something of value, if you actually connect with them properly, you will get even more, 10x.
And and so people know, like, if you've never done sales and you've never done significant sales, and this is new to you, or maybe you have, and you've kind of just are a brute and you've smash mouthed your way through. And like Royan said, if you try to connect with 4,000 and you just pitch to them, even if you get 1%, you're going to get a couple people.
Yes.
But there is a better way, in that, everything Royan just said is everything that the sales professional that Al, that I did a webcast with yesterday, said. And he's got 4 decades doing this. And he said the exact same thing. But he said, back in the 80s, I would ask about them. It would start there. I wouldn't even talk about what I was selling and what I did for a living. If I got into their office, and he goes, if I noticed they had pictures of boats or cars or horses, I would say, hey, what kind of boat is that? Or what kind of horse is that? Is it? And it would start a conversation. And I never walked in and said, well, I'm a salesman selling this. You should buy it. Your company needs it. And that's everything Royan just said. So
Absolutely.
even if you're selling and you're taking that, in the US, what we call used car salesman approach, even though you're selling, if you take this approach, because everybody that has done sales successfully says the same thing you just did, if you take this approach, you're gonna see a lot more sales
It's
and
just
a
a lot
lot more
more
happy
different.
customers.
Absolutely. And like, in our case right now, we are reaching out to people and we're telling them that we help with businesses build their personal brand, get more clients on LinkedIn. And we and then and the end offer is that we tell them we offer 7 days free trial. It's free. Like, give it a try. Like, you decide if this is for you. Like, as like, one of the few things that is always that the question always the customer have is that, is it gonna work, right? Is this for me? So we're taking away the friction around that, and we're just telling them, hey, if you know that you want to build your personal brand, grow your audience on LinkedIn, get more clients, but you just don't want to do all the tedious tasks, heavy lifting. Okay, we have a LinkedIn virtual assistant that is already highly trained, pre-qualified, is going to do the work for you. Of course, we want to, of course, first prove the worth that we are worthy to do business with you. We have a 7 days free trial. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we literally gave people, someone that's gonna help them work with them for 7 days free. Like, it's like a software, like, so it's like a subscription. And we tell them, if you love them, if you want to, continue working with them, then that is where the investment comes in. But it's
And,
just, it's a value offer. You give them something that they're gonna love.
and it's so counter to what most people want to do. Again, we have a client organization, and I had said, I'm like, listen, like, I know you sell your service, I know you sell your content, but really you should be capturing it on video and putting it out there. Just give it away,
Yes.
because it's going to drive people are going to find you because you're going to show up when they're looking for your content.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, then they're not going to hire us. I said, well, everybody's not going to hire you
Yes.
anyways. Second of all, some of the people that might see your content may not even be in your market. And down the road, and they provide an in-person, like a physical service that happens one-on-one or group or whatever. And said, listen, like, it's going to build brand awareness at no cost to you.
Yeah.
And it's going to establish you as an expert. Down the road, we can build out a model and a system where you can sell some of this service digitally. But
Mm-hmm.
right now, most of the people, goes back to what I said with that accountability and what you said
Yeah.
with execution. If they see the content and they're like, well, I can do this myself, and they keep seeing the content and they're still not doing it, even though it's free, at some point, a percentage of those people are going to hire you, because
Exactly.
they're going to need someone to hold them accountable to make sure they execute. Just like Ryan said, like, you
Yes.
have to execute. So there's value in that. In your 7 day free trial, some of those people are going to realize there's value. They're providing me value, but I'm never going to do this on my own.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I should let them, or they might try it, right? They might say, you know what, thanks for the week. I'm going to do it myself. And 3 weeks later, they might be reaching back out saying, I haven't done anything.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing about it. And when we say 7 days free trial, that's not even like, a coaching or like a course or an online course. That's actually someone doing the work for you. And like, the catch is very simple. In that 1 week span, they're going to have an idea of what kind of growth and what kind of results, 1 week can do. Then they're going to start thinking, man, I have to continue this. Like, I can't afford not to continue this. I've already started doing it. So that's basically what we're trying to do. We'll help
And,
them right off the bat for free, and we
and,
just continue doing it for them.
and do you feel then also there's a metric, a return on dollar invested that they can start to realize, which is, if I hire Royan's legacy VAs and I spend this money here, I know there's a return here. I already see that. Every time
Absolutely.
I pay for this, I'm going to at least get this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we do have clients that makes, you know, 10,000, 20,000, $30,000 a month, and the investment for the LinkedIn virtual assistant is like, you know, it's like 10x, right? It's just it's just so much, because like it goes like, you know, the sales funnel is very important though, right? So it's important that they also have something in place, because the leads are easy to get, but if you don't have a proper system to convert that, then it's going to be a problem, right? Or if you have a bad offer, or you're not really sincere in helping people. That's why we always communicate, right? This is for you. If you know that you have something good to offer in this world, and you are a mission driven coach, consultant, or entrepreneur.
In
Why? Because we want to attract people who is like, you know, more inclined with, you know, leaving the legacy than, you know, just making money. Like money is just a shadow of success, right? And it's just, you know, it's just a byproduct of what you are doing. And if you focus on your mission, it's going to happen.
and there's but and back to that funnel, because I see this often. If you're bringing the traffic in, make sure that you have the infrastructure and the systems in place to do something with the traffic.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing worse than seeing leads coming in, whether they're hitting your LinkedIn profile, or for some of our clients, it's Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or your website. Like, make sure you have a way to capture them and do something with it. So,
Yes.
and it needs to be systemized. So you hire legacy VAs, the traffic's coming in, it's going somewhere, funneling, you know, the traffic's falling into the top of the funnel. You need to have the bottom of the funnel so that you're doing something with that traffic.
That's true. That's true. Now I also at the same time do not want to intimidate everyone who's just starting out, right? What I'm saying is that, okay, like that's the first thing that you have to figure out when if you want to build a business and you want to grow a business. You know, a lot of businesses or a lot of coaches, consultants, you know, their customer delivery and customer retention don't have a problem, but they always have an issue in terms of customer acquisition, right? The very first thing that you have to be able to do to figure out and solve that problem is to generate leads. Because even if you're bad in sales, if you are constantly talking to a potential client, you're going to get better, and you're going to get better, and you're going to get a sale, right? It's sales funnel, sales process is super important, but it's it's a bad thing for you to actually start with that. So you start with generating leads, and to Coach Ray's point, you just have to be ready to, you know, to do something about that, right? If you don't have anything in place, just be ready to talk to them on the phone, right? Just be ready to, like, you know, give them something of value. Just be ready to have, like, you know, a solid offer
And
that
that's
irresistible.
part of that funnel. Like,
Yeah.
if you're doing nothing right now, and I get this a lot, and you nailed it with being intimidated. A lot of business owners are like, they look at it and they're like, this is way too much, I'm overwhelmed, I don't
Yes.
have any of these things. Like, in it, you know, click funnels is popular. I'll hear it, well, I don't have click funnels, and I don't have this, and we don't. It's like, whoa, slow down, it's all right. Like, first we get the traffic, and then it could be a matter of, you just call them and have a
Yeah.
conversation. You
Yeah.
don't need, we can build the other stuff later. Like, we're not, if it's kind of like,
Absolutely.
how do you eat an elephant one bite at a
Indeed.
time? Like, you don't walk in and say, I'm going to eat this entire elephant. You just do one small thing. And back to Ryan's point earlier, and you just consistently execute. And it
That's true.
can be that phone call and a follow-up email. There's your funnel. That's it.
That's it.
It's easy.
Yeah. Exactly. Like a funnel is exactly just your sales process. Every business right now have their own funnel, right? Like a funnel doesn't mean, you know, having a click funnel. Click funnel is just the technology that made all of this, you know, possible to, like, you know, whatever sales process you have now, that is already your funnel. Okay. And
And it can
but
be
you
simple. It can be a phone
it can be
call. It
simple,
can be
yeah. It
simple.
can be, you know, talking to someone on the phone, telling them that, hey, this is a product, and then, you know, sending them a proposal. But the point is that it's just, you just have to be ready. You just have to be ready to be able to, you know, like to offer services and talk to them, and you're going to get massive rewards from it. Absolutely.
And that's I think you really brought something up there, because that comes up a lot. I have a lot
Yeah.
of folks are like, well, I don't have that. I don't want that. I don't want to learn that. I don't have time. And it's like, whoa, we're like, hey, you have Facebook? Yeah. All right. Just we'll build this out. The traffic will just direct message you. All you gotta do is message them back. That's it. No, and then make them, or you don't want to do that. You don't have Facebook. We'll build it so that the goal is for you to be able to call them. That's it. Super simple. You don't have to have like I know the one funnel away for ClickFunnels was recently relaunched or what have you. So I was getting slammed on Facebook with folks, and they're like, hey, do you have one funnel away? Have you done it? You know, sign up under my affiliate code. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
first of all, I already have ClickFunnels. Second of all, like not everybody needs ClickFunnels. Like we have a finance company.
Absolutely.
They're not on LinkedIn. They're on Facebook because we did a Facebook presence for them a couple months ago,
Mhm.
and they do 8 figures plus in revenue a year. They're huge. They don't use any of these things. Their simple funnel is phone call or go to our website. That's it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
it. They don't have, there's nothing else. So it needs to be simple, and you need to execute consistently.
Exactly.
And we've established LinkedIn represents significant opportunity to build your personal brand. Even if you're a hopeful employee, I see some upside with, if you're out looking for jobs, or maybe not today but tomorrow, optimize your profile.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's value in that. Swing by Royan's LinkedIn profile, check out the videos, optimize. There's benefit for everybody that's on LinkedIn. Make sure that if you're on LinkedIn, so if you're watching this, you have a LinkedIn account and you don't have a profile picture at all, you need to start there.
Yeah.
Like at least put something on there. So Royan, one of the other things that we like to ask is, what are your top 3 must do's with LinkedIn? Like, what would you tell somebody? Like, here's 3 things you have to do on LinkedIn.
Is this aside from the steps that I shared with you earlier?
You can include those. I'm all right
Okay.
with that.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the top three, right? Optimize your profile, turn it into a sales page. It means that it needs to have the right visuals and the right message. Awesome. Um, Actually, what I'd like to, emphasize more is the message. Make sure that it's just so easy for people to understand exactly who you're helping and what are you going to help them with. Like, imagine that the reader is like a fifth grader or a fourth grader. So it needs to be very clear with simple words. That's also kind of like copywriting 101 if you think about it. So that's number one, right? Number two, right? There's a lot of ways to find your customers on LinkedIn. Like, look at them via groups, use Sales Navigator. It's free for 30 days. Basic search is free as well. You can do some basic filtering on that one. You can also find your customers based on the people that they are following, right? So there are of course influencers out there who would capture a specific type of demographic. So that is also a good way. So the point is that, find your customers, like have some sort of a list or database of the people that you want to reach out to. And then the third one is to connect with them and then follow it up with a little bit of content creation. You can actually go from $0 to $10,000 amount without putting out content, but putting out content is just something that is great for you long term. Like once you put out a content out there, it's going to be there for forever, right? If you create an article on LinkedIn, it's something that's going to show up on Google if someone like search for that kind of topic. So it's a great way to do so. So
Top
those are
three, top 3 things you should not do on LinkedIn. Like, what are the,
absolutely.
like, don't do this. What
Don't
are
do
the
this.
top 3?
Absolutely. Now, this is just basically kind of like, the version of what I shared with you earlier, but I think it's still important. So do not, just start reaching out to people without optimizing your profile, or just just do something about your LinkedIn profile. If you know that you love LinkedIn and you're going to use it as a platform, fix your profile. Okay. So that's
Okay.
so that is something you should not do. Okay. Avoid ignoring the fact that you need to optimize your profile or do something about it. Okay. Or reach out to people without fixing it. So that's probably a more solid way to answer that. Number two, don't just reach out to random people, right? Reach out, connect like LinkedIn have an amazing limit that you can connect to 30,000 people. So that's an amazing thing. But if you start with a habit of just connecting to people randomly, imagine having 30,000 connections but irrelevant to what you're doing or to what you're trying to achieve. And imagine if you have 30,000 connections that is totally relevant in what you are doing, right? So that's number two. Awesome. Like don't grow your connections with random people. Make a choice who you want to reach out to, right? Number three, don't spam people with in the DM and just try to sell them something. Okay? If you like overall, I am not going to recommend you I'm sending a sales pitch in the DMs, but if that's something that you cannot stop yourself, okay, from doing, just don't follow up with someone who didn't say anything or said no. All right. So if you want to give it a try, send a pitch to, let's say to your target customers, like 2,000 people, but don't follow up. Don't keep on sending any more messages if they didn't reply. Okay, just leave them be.
Yeah, move on to the next person. And one thing that you mentioned, and this came up, we did a webcast with a real estate professional, and he's killing it. He's doing extremely well in real estate. And he had said he just moved markets. So he moved from the Midwest in the United States to, I guess, technically it'd be the Southwest. So he moved from Illinois, mid-Southern Illinois, to Arizona. And he had said to me, he's like, he goes, we built this YouTube channel for our Illinois business. And initially we didn't really give consideration to who we were inviting to subscribe to the channel. Yeah. And what happened was all of these people that weren't relative to what we did for business were subscribed and commenting. And that wasn't the goal. Our goal was to use it as a tool for business. He goes, now in our new market, we're very deliberately only targeting relevant people for our YouTube. We don't want thousands of people on there. We just we'll take hundreds of relevant or the right people. So it's interesting you say that, because I've talked to a lot of executives and business owners, and really that's only come up twice. Even maybe everybody knows it and they just don't talk about it, but there's a lot of value in reaching out to many people, but many relevant people.
Absolutely. Yeah. You just said it perfectly, Coach, right? You can reach out to just imagine this, reach out to 1,000 people that is random, and imagine reaching out to 1,000 people that is relevant. Like just imagine what kind of results that's going to get. It's amazing.
Even if it takes longer to reach the 1,000 relevant, the return is so much greater.
Yeah.
So much.
That's amazing thing about like the technology nowadays. It's not even going to take long anymore. It's just, you just have to be intentional that, okay, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So I'm going to reach out. So that is where that statement comes in. I shared earlier. If you reach out to the right people with the right message at the right time, and you never really know when is the right time, right? So you just have to do it at scale, right? That's what I mean by like with the right time. If you reach out to like thousands and thousands of people, you're going to get them at the right time, right? You're going to get results. It's just, just reach out to the right people with the right message at the right time. Awesome. It's going to be amazing.
Roy, and what else would you recommend to people that might be tuning in? What haven't we covered? Is there anything we missed?
I think that the most important thing, because these are just tactics, these are just a framework and strategy, but the most important thing that I'd like to share, and it's amazing that you asked me, Coach Ray, this question, is that it's the mindset. So just be authentic and sincere in helping people, because if it's just, I know of course that we are entrepreneurs, we are business people, money is so important, we love money, right? We love money, that's just how it is. It's something that you have to realize, that you have to love money, but at the same time, this is money is just a shadow of your success, it's just a product of your success. So it's just think about your mission, just be authentic and sincere in actually giving value and helping people, because at the end of the day, that is what's going to, help you make a ton of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. And that's why I always share, and this is the tagline that of our company, right? We're not here to build a business, we're here to leave a legacy.
And I like that. In when you look at organizations that are successful, they are, to steal your word, they're legacy focused. The scorecard is sales. So, and if you have a business, you have to generate revenue, because you have to pay your bills first and foremost.
Yes.
But the organizations that tend to do best tend to have a really strong why. They have a powerful reason that they get up and do what they do every day. And it's not just the money. Money is a short-term thing.
Yes. It's just so amazing once you start, having that kind of peace of doing things. It's long term. You're actually gonna get more, like, for sure. That's for sure. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I'd like to share with everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it, Coach Ray. I'd like to do thank you for inviting me to your webcast. I'm always rooting to small business to grow, and this is the reason why we're having this conversation, right? Because someone is very authentic and sincere in helping people, and I love you for that, Coach Ray. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for trusting us with your time. So, and again, I'm going to say it again. Always remember, we're not here to build a business. We're here to leave a legacy.
I love it. I love it. All right, Royan, I think we'll wrap up. Smallbusinesstogrow.com. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment below. Also, be sure to check us out on your favorite podcast provider. See the links in the description below.